Good evening everyone, welcome to another tournament stream, the first professional tournament stream of the spring season of this year for me. I have not been able to stream Asia earlier today because, well, work and everything, but we are going to kick it off with EU server, and we're going to kick it off with none other than Vale versus Legion. Legion, the clan that I've been following pretty much every Thursday for the last couple of weeks during the Ascent tournaments, and they've never disappointed. So we're going to have a lot of fun and we'll just enjoy it. So I'm going to take you to my not iPad view, the PC app view, and I'll just quickly take you over to what we have in store. At the moment, of course, nobody has points yet, but we have Souls, Loca, EG, Legion, Immor, Appa, Raid, and of course Vale to show you matches of. Now, the thing to notice, I'll show you that in a bit, is that there's 4 streams tonight. Mine is the one on the portal. If you want to get coins for watching, you need to watch through the portal. Make sure you are logged in. Basically, what we will be seeing tonight is Vale versus Legion. That is the first round, and after that we have Vale versus Loca. Let's actually quickly, come on. That invite flew away too fast. Here is a room. I will ready up if my laptop actually works with me. There we go. And then I'll go back a little bit to show you that if you look here, you see under the streams tabs, these are the streams that you have tonight. You can have mine playing on the portal but muted, so you get the coins, but you can also watch whoever you want to watch on a different device then. Because pretty much people will be wanting to follow clans, and that is fully understandable. OBS is not liking me right now, but here we go again. And we have, like I said, I'm streaming Vale versus Legion. We have every streaming EG versus Souls and EG versus Legion afterwards. Then we have Fugit with Loca versus Immor and Appa versus Immor. And Raid, that is streaming Raid, Rip streaming Raid versus Appa and Raid versus Souls. So that's overall going to be lots of fun. I'm going to quickly go back to the room where we see both teams completely there already, if not yet ready up. We are starting it off on Port Bay. So I'll quickly grab that map for you so I can have a bit of a look there. I'll actually move it a bit to the center. There we go. Port Bay, 3 bases, A in the city side, well, basically the harbor side, B in the middle of a city square, and C in the hilly area. Basically, I always find it useless to predict what people will do, because with a team you have a lineup of 7 people that are all on voice together, that know what they're doing, that know how to coordinate, and they will be able to make any direction with any team lineup work. However, in randoms, I much prefer the C side. I also find that it's easier to dominate base B from the C side, just basically by dropping down a little bit. At the same time, in tournaments, we have seen a lot of actions around base A and base B, but it kind of depends on how people want to play. If you want tactical gameplay, we see more action around base A and B, but basically the push tactics that we sometimes see are mostly around base C area. So it'll be interesting to see what these teams will do, because basically the gloves are off now. This is the professionals. Every win that you win counts for a lot more than it did during the Ascent tournaments. And that is why it is very useful to basically win your matches. So where we've not seen any trump cards yet, and I know for sure that we've not seen like the top play that that the teams can bring, that is all going to change now. So I'll take away the map so that it's not on your screen anymore. I'm actually a little bit winded, and it's a bit of nerves actually, not necessarily for the stream, but these matches. I mean, like I said, we've been following Legion quite a bit. We've not seen Vale as much, but most of Vale is from RTK, and I followed RTK for such a long time, so I know these guys a lot better, and I'm kind of rooting for both of these. Both of these are pretty much my favorite teams, together with EG. They're the ones that I like the most, and it's not so much, well, it has to do with skill, of course, but also because just I like the teams best. So in a minute and a half we get to go into the game. We see that Vale has readied up with a mouse. Let's see, 3 113s and 140, an e5 and a t62a, and they're going to go up against 2 is4s, 3 e5s, a sherry, 2 sherries. So that is very different lineups, and it will be very interesting to see what they do with this. Dun 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 dun. Like I said, I am eager to see what they do with this. Zerd may be switching tanks. He still has 47 seconds left to decide on a definite lineup. And it seems that he's sticking with the mouse. Both these lineups can work a lot of wonders, but I have a feeling that with this lineup, Vale is more likely to at least focus part of the forces around base B, because that is where the mouse is strongest. Whereas Legion has a much more mobile lineup, also with the speed boost of course on the E5s and everything. They can get around quite quickly, especially on a map that is relatively small, like Port Bay is. So with just 10 seconds left to go now, we are going to go into the match and see what happens in the first professionals match of this season. And it would help if we actually loaded in. There we go. Vale All Pro. Legion has a spaceman, a tiger and a baby. But for the rest is also pro. There has been a bit of a derp with handing out rewards, I've understood. People that were not supposed to get the professionals camouflage did actually get the professionals camouflage. So it will be interesting. And here we go. Zerd sporting that beautiful camo that so few people have. But it looks pretty much great on every single tank. Mo driving the same camo, well, using the same camo. And we see that Legion is going towards the C area, and as expected, Vale is heading more towards the B and A area. And with those speed boosts being used already, they can rush, but there's literally no one there for them. And it will be interesting to see what they do with it. We have Elysium going straight into the base here, together with Mo and Shapey, so they will cap quickly. And even if Legion were to cap together, which they're not, now they are. But that means that Vale will have a point advantage. Zerd already angling a little bit more towards their spawn-ish, expecting them to be on that side. Radicals having been spotted there. Whoopsie as well. They know they are there. Whoopsie taking the first hit there. But at this stage anything can happen. Zerd is moving in, going after that second cap, and if they get it, that could be very tricky. We see a missile flying, but it does not pan. Mo also bouncing a little bit there. Vale basically stuck in their spawn with Zerd in the middle. Zerd has pretty much always been the sacrificial lamb for Vale and for RTK before then. He is now pulling back between the buildings, but he has to be careful with Nick there in the Sheridan, able to fire missiles at him. Angie losing a little bit of HP there. But where Zerd did lose some HP here, he is in a pretty solid position with this team behind him. They have the 2 bases, they can protect the 2 bases. And it will be up to Legion to make a move and make something happen. We see the tanks heading in now. Object 3 moving down a little bit. Zerd now in a bit of a tricky position. He can't pull back because then he gets shot by Eggy, which is exactly what is happening here. He is again the sacrificial lamb. Why is that at the back there? Zerd losing more HP. He's not going to be able to survive this, especially not with the way that he's losing and bleeding HP. But he is deciding to focus on Eggy's side. Now with Object 3 rushing in to get behind him. Venom shooting. Zerd is not going to survive this. There he goes. Eggy taking him out. But ooh, look at the HP just being bled here. Venom not looking too healthy either. Elysium not looking healthy either. We have Whoopsie coming in. Elysium has been taken out. That is a 2-gun advantage to Legion, and that can make all the difference here. Especially when they're getting a bit in each other's way and not really... There we go. Venom is the first gun from Legion gone. But there goes Gassio. And they will need to survive, which is not going to be likely for Mo here. Angie is running off. Shapey caught out in the open. Not really a good thing here. Mo has been taken out. It is 3 versus 6. Both bases are being capped now. Legion pushing in at exactly the right time. Taking out the guns, and Vale coming to help Zerd is actually what is costing them in the game, because they lost the map control and the base control. Wise are taking out by a one-shot whoopsie. Kidovet not looking too healthy either. And that's quickly going to make him get killed. And now only Shapey is left. And Legion is at 970 points. Shapey might even survive, but no, he does not even do that. And that brings Legion to the 1k points. And the first match is for Legion. And it wasn't a 7-0, but it came pretty close. Decent amount of time for a match, nearly 4 minutes. But this is basically the strength of Legion. This is also something that I know that Vale is capable of as well. Pushing at exactly that right moment. But that's also why I love this team up. This is the kind of matches that I want to see. This is the kind of matchup that I want to commentate on. And for me, it's not even so much about the commentary, but it's more like having a front row seat to a very epic matchup and getting to talk about it. And we all know that us women like talking. So that is basically what we do. So now we wait. We have 1 minute left to go before we go into the game. And we have Phil now completely ready with a pretty different lineup of sorts. We see an IS-4, we see 3 113s, and we see 3 140s. Not even the T62A, but the 140s. And that makes me expect that we're gonna see some brawl of some kind. Because whereas the T62A, in my opinion, is right now the stronger tank, when it comes to basically brawling, I feel the 140 is still stronger. So let's see. Half a minute left to go. NG now readied up as well. So that means that Legion is readied with 2 268s, 2 E5s, 2 IS4s, and a Sheridan. Also a very different lineup. Like I said, we've not seen the proper tactics of teams before now. Now is the time that we will start seeing tactics like this. And people will start bringing their A game. With the Ascent tournaments, they really didn't need to, as long as they got a space in the top 8. But that's all different now. So let's see, a second matchup about to begin. Here we go. Juicy, by the way, was Juicy Tender Steak, became Raid Ziegenvoide and is now Juicy Camel Steak. Lots of name changes. And here we go. And now we have both teams moving into the same direction. And with only a bit of Legion heading the other way, more so to see what's going to happen there. We have Whoopsie moving in quickly, probably to spot. He's going back up. Vale is pushing through the harbor and is now spotting Radicals. But we have those two. Oh, look at Elysium! He just got 268. Double 268. And this was very dangerous. They had to know that they would be there. Whoopsie now arriving. Taking another massive hit into Elysium. Vale is bleeding HP where they really didn't need to. All of Legion is there. We have entered a full-on fuckfest. We see at the back, Mo is already gone. Elysium is still alive, just don't ask how. Vano is now gone. Radical's not looking too healthy either. He will probably be taken out by Shapey next, if not for the fact that he bounced. But he has so many guns already gone. And even though Juicy is not going to survive that, he has been occupying 2 guns from Vale the whole time. Whoopsie now moving in. Whereas Zerd is showing his bum to be very happy. 268 there. And it is 3 versus 4. Gassio is going to be gone soon. He might be able to take out Whoopsie, which he does, but he's not going to be able to survive NG. Oh, he does! Wise also not in the best of positions. Venom now in going after him. There goes Cassio. It is 3 versus 2. Wise is still alive, just don't ask how. Zerd, the one to usually die the first, is still alive, is likely going to be the last one alive from Vale's side. But this is definitely Legion's game. And again, this was partly Legion pulling back, anticipating correctly what Vale would do, pulling back into the tight fist to take that push. But also Vale not being careful at all with their push. They knew there were 268s. They knew they were going to be there. They're always there. And look at the damage that Object 3 did in that 268. That is saying a lot about the role of those 268s. So now we are moving on to the second map, which is actually one of my favorite maps, or at least it used to be. Vineyards. You have 3 bases. Base A and B close to their respective spawns. Base C in the town. I actually need to replace this map, I think, because the image is not correct. Base C is further into the town. That was changed at some point. But oh my god. And that is the map that we're going to go to. I like this map because it has a lot of hilly areas, different heights and everything, and it makes for epic pick booming, which is pretty much what I enjoy to do in the game. So we have Vale that has readied up with 1 IS-4, 2 113s, two Object 140s and 2 E5s, and they're going to go up against a 268, potentially a 1-1. 2 E5s is showing IS-4 in another 1-1. Interesting, because we have not seen the 1-1 much before, and I actually don't know this. I should look into that. Whether the 1-1B is better than the 1-1. But it will all depend on what's going to happen now. The thing is that there's no real pressure. It is a best of 7. The team that races 4 victories first is getting the point. But that means that after this game, if Vale does not regroup and grab it back, then the pressure is definitely on Vale if they want to get this point, which of course is pretty important at this stage. And here we go. Dun 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 dun. Let's see. And the thing is, when you get smashed like that 2 battles in a row so badly, then it is not easy to regroup, and that is exactly what Vale has to do at this stage. So I don't envy them there. Of course, we have Legion now already capping base speed, but they are aided by the Mighty Donut, and if you are not getting that reference, watch the first ASN tournaments with the battles on New Bay. Legion will have a definite point advantage here, even with the 2 E5s capping together now. We have the 113s pushing in a very precarious position. This is not really a position I would want my team, not with Venom and Whoopsie over there. But they are holding and they are relatively safe. But there's about a tank's difference in favor of Legion here. With the 140s in the corner, in the ruins. And basically Legion, all they need to do is hold. They don't need to take any chances. We see a missile there who does not pan. But this is something that we know that Legion has excelled in before. Just play patiently, don't take chances when you don't need to. And they really don't need to. It will be up to Vale to make the push. And Legion again is in a position, if you look at where they are, and then you have them two, and then you have Radicals, and you have Aggie at the back. They are in positions where they can support each other so quickly. And that is very important. We see another missile flying but not panning. Wise are now losing quite a bit of HP. Not able to use those buildings all that effectively. Don Vano keeping them alert. and potentially spotted. We have the E5s now pushing at the back. And this is very dangerous because now Venom is losing a bit more HP. But the 113s are pushing in. And there's two big guns there. Shapey has to be careful. And we see Elysium losing quite a bit of HP there. The Momo taking a shot. And another one. Shapey getting shot. Vale is arriving, but they're arriving quite late. And basically Elysium and Shapey have already lost quite a bit of HP before the rest of Vale is even there. I'm going to try and take you around. Don Vano almost gone. He is up versus 2 tanks, but if he fires first... No, he does not. He is the first one out. But there's already quite some low HP targets. Base A is being stolen. Radical's not too healthy. And this is basically it. They need to push in. But they're going to lose quite a bit of HP doing so. Radicals is gone. But Legion is in more supporting positions than Vale is. And this could be very tricky. Object 3 needs to be taken out. We have NG moving. Oh! Object 3 has been taken out quite brutally there. But so does Wise. Whoopsie still alive. Mo in a tricky position. NG moving in. Bouncing, which in this case is very important. But Whoopsie is there and he could potentially finish Mo off. Which he does. Which means that Kirovets is alone. Zerd is pushing in, but he will arrive too late. And this is the whole tricky part. They need to make all the shots count. And Legion is doing just that. Whoopsie losing a little bit of HP. Zerd has to be careful. Kirovets actually pushing into the fire in order to take Angie out. And there goes Whoopsie. It's now 2 guns versus 1. But it is Kirovets that is very low HP. This tracking shoot could make all the difference though. Kirovets has to stay alive. But no, actually, it doesn't matter. Legion has the bases. They reach 1k points. And Aggie surviving is enough to get Legion this victory. That is quite evil, but very well played by Legion. This is that patience. Vale pushed in. They pushed in not completely coherently, not completely as a pack. And that eventually could just cost them that tiny bit too much time. And Legion took it home on points. That base A cap made all the difference. So we're now getting ready on the 4th match of this lineup, of this matchup, and that is where the pressure is on, because now Vale has to win 4 games in a row versus a Legion that is in excellent shape in order to take home this point. Dun 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 dun. We have just over a minute left to go before we go into the match. We have Vale that has readied up in an IS-4, a 268, 2 140s, IS-7, STB and a 113, and they're going to go up against a 268, 2 IS-4s, 1 E5, a Sheridan, a T22 medium and a 140. So there is the first part of the paywall that we see at times. T22, of course, one of the most troll tanks around. And that can be very... it can be a very dangerous tank. It's not as meta as last year. Last year the meta was just... well... actually quite boring. Now the meta is a lot more mixed up and I do enjoy that. But T22 still has all the same strengths as before. But we'll see how it performs, and that's basically what it's all about. I'm actually excited, and Legion is playing like a monster and it's actually perfect. At the same time, I want this match to continue as long as possible, and I also really feel like I said, these two are both my favorites. I want them both to win, even though that's quite impossible. But here we go into the 4th game, and the pressure is on Vale. They have to win this if they want to have a chance at the point. They have to win the next 4 matches in a row if they want to get the point. And that will be very, very difficult. So far though, it seems that aside from that first match in Port Bay, Vale has not been playing for the points, and that could have been costly, because if where Zut was before, if he had driven back to cap base A, they would have probably won the last match. We see where now Legion is heading all to the city with a bit to the middle. And we have Vale crossing over, firing a little bit. Kirovat's taking a little bit of damage there. Again, no base is being kept by Vale here. And Zerd is going to be the sacrificial lamb again. Look at this. Look at all these Legion guns pushing in. Knowing that Zerd is on his own here. No one is around to properly aid him. Radikos losing HP, of course. But look at the HP now being bled from Zerd. He's going to be gone at the next reload. Especially when Donfano is blocking him from behind. Making sure that he's tracked and can't really do much of anything. First gun is gone. Base A is being capped. But at this stage they've already lost the gun. Elysium is now next in line to be focused. He drops down. Vale is in very tricky positions here. Losing HP as they cross over. Legion playing very aggressively here, but it is paying off. They are losing HP, but they're all losing HP. There's no singular target that is being focused on here. Shapey almost gone already. And Kirovats has to move in order to give him space, but he does not take it. And that means that Shapey is gone. Legion has a 2-gun advantage now. All the guns from Legion are still there. And Vale does not seem to have an answer. They are uncoordinated. They are chaotic. Elysium is just alive by pure luck because Radicals missed that shot. But there goes Mo. There goes Elysium. There goes Gessia. Now we only have Kirovats left. And Wise. And Wise is in the middle of a lot of guns. There goes Kirovats. Wise is the last one alive. And Object 3 takes him out. That was a very brutal game. A very fast game as well. And that means that the first matchup is gone to Legion. Epic games, guys. Very well played. And this was... I've actually had a conversation about this not too long ago. Where someone was saying that they were pretty bummed that I always point out the mistakes that are made. But the thing is that... For me, the tournament stream is about pointing out what happens and why it happens. So, the competitive players will be able to read the game. They will see what I see. And they will know what is happening and why it is happening. The general player, however, does not. So, there's always a turning point in the game. And the turning point is either one team doing something brilliantly. Or one team doing something badly. That just doesn't... It could just be not that it doesn't work out. The focus fire could be gone. And in this case... Legion pushing the way that they did, making that fist, singling out Zerd, knowing that he was alone there, or at least expecting that he was alone there, and taking advantage of that, is the strong point here. But then, Vale responding, moving in, shooting different targets. You saw the HP from Legion drop, but none of the guns were focused, and that is basically where Vale should have done better. This is something we know that they can do a lot better, and those were the two turning points in this game that decided the fate of the game. So that's something what I generally focus a lot on. So let's see what is happening. Do we know what is happening for the other ones? This was a very quick matchup. It only took 22 minutes to play 4 games. So that's quite a bit. This is not what I want. This is what I wanted. Of course, this is not yet updated. So we will wait. I think that this is not going yet either. I always have to... It would make so much more sense if the matches that you were getting were on top and the matches that were finished were at the bottom. But Wargaming likes working towards a highlight. In the meantime, Firstborn is eating ice cream and he is not sharing, and I think that is very mean. But yeah, this is the Legion in the shape that I've always admired them. I've not always liked them, I do now. But that's something that they've always been very strong at, and that patient gameplay is what it's all about, especially with this meta. It just works very, very well. So that is the first matchup. We have about 35-ish minutes, 40 minutes before we get the next one. So I'm actually going to be showing you a bunch of replays. I can't play PC to save my life, so I'm not going to be doing that to you. And you wouldn't like it if I did. Aside from the fact that I sniper mode a lot and that bothers people as well. It's just something that we should not do. So let's see. Also, people from the teams that have just played, if you would kindly not appear in the chat until your match is over, that would be very much appreciated. Because if you start appearing there, pretty much people already know what's going to happen. So in a way, that is a spoiler. So please don't spoiler. Anyhow, we have a Kiwi in the chat. So I'm going to show you a replay of his. And we'll see how that goes. Well, that is hopeful. So that one is not working. I'm gonna try it again because, well, sometimes it does. No, okay, that one is not working. I'm not going to be showing you a Kiwi game. Let's see what I have. I'll show you this one instead. Luckily, I got a whole bunch of. I just hope that the replay thing does work. Well, there we go. Because I wouldn't know how to entertain you guys otherwise. Bob the Clothessuck, which basically means Bob the Asshole in Dutch, is one of the most epic players I know. And one of the players that has been around the longest. And he always stood out to me because of the name, which always made me giggle when I first started playing this game. But also because he's just really, really good. And he's so relaxed about it too. That is one of the things I like most about him. Guys, honestly, you can talk what you want in the chat, but please be polite. Of course, those that are watching on the portal, which you should if you want coins and stuff, are not seeing the chat on YouTube at all, which is probably a good thing at times. But here we go. Bob heading towards the cave side. This is a very lovely camo. It's not the camo that you should be driving on this tank, because there's a very bright one. But it does look good. And let's see. Nice! No idea how that actually panned, but it works. AMX 3B getting hit a bit more. Bob now relocating. This is something that I feel people should do more often. If you don't have a shot, relocate. Try and get a shot or try to find an enemy. Leo heading around the back. But he's a bit hesitant. I think that's to do with the guns over there. 30B. Oh, and he does pan that. In the meantime, the base is being kept with a guy that is a very big target. He is not actually doing the capping though. Yeah, figured as much. No pen. But that sorry, that one miraculously panned. No idea why. And that did not pan, or it missed. Could be either. Because otherwise the base would have reset. AMX 30B arriving, taking a nice hit there. But basically we have a mouse that is protecting in the base. And yeah, they kind of do need to uncap. And we see Bob now making a move. Bob being careful. Bouncing on the Leo, that is quite... No, the Leo is not AFK. 75 points though. Nice little bounce there. They kind of have to make that move. There we go. Base has been uncapped. And he lost some HP for nothing there. And now he's in a bit of a tricky position. This is not a position that I enjoy being in. And he has to be careful. He has the pipes, but he also has a bunch of tanks behind him. And the E100 coming for him. And another E100 aiming at him. I do not envy Bob right now. 263 has been taken out. And now that E100 not looking at him is very important. This E100 just fired. And it means that Bob can now focus on him a little bit. The Leo arriving there. He has turned around now, so he's in a bit of a better position. He just has to be careful. Leo, the E100 is not focusing on him at all. Which is a bit peculiar. Because why would you shoot the target that is straight in front of you? Nice hit there. And again, we are at 70 points. They will need to reset the base again. 30B now taking hits into Bob. So he has to be careful. He is now in a very tricky position with 2 guns in front of him and 1 at the back. And he decides to focus that E100. Base has been decapped again, so they have some time. And there goes the E100. We have a mouse versus a mouse over there. Nice high roll. Even with Parmo. And we are 6,000 damage into it. That is helpful. It is 3 versus 3, but the mouse is almost gone. Assuming this shot pans, which helps when you see the lower frontal plate. And we have now the Leo in front, who is now already a 1-shot. And the AMX 30BD is right behind there. And he will take another hit, but he's plenty of HP for that. So that is actually a very excellent game. 6,664. 2 damage more would have been all the more epic. That is beautiful. 7k in total. Very nicely done, Blob. So we still have like half an hour left to go. So I'm going to be filling that with some more replays for you guys. Because like I said, I can't play PC to save my life. And yes, Nick, I am Dutch. Let's have a look. What else have I got for you? Actually, no idea if Mutsu is still around. Otherwise, I'd know what I show. But I am... actually have another Chieftain game, but let's not play that yet. Chieftain is a very much played tank, and apparently it does really well. Why? Pretty sure I downloaded these after the update, but we'll see. Here we go. In the Chieftain. If you want to submit replays, by the way, that you want me to show, I only showed tier 7 and higher aces. But I have a channel on my Discord server that is called Spring Season Replays. So if you post them there, together with the screenshot of the battle results, I will probably show it if it's an ace. Let's see. I like, someone just asked, hey, who is streaming? What is your nick? Well, the hint is kind of in the channel name. And let's see. This is actually a tank. When it first came into the game, I was very chuffed about it. Now I'm more like, It's one of those tanks that I barely touch anymore. It's not necessarily a really bad tank. It's just not a really good tank either. And he has to be careful with that cupola, because the cupola on this thing is huge. But it helps, of course. Well, it would help even more if he had aimed that shot, but yeah. Now he's switching to Primo, which is a good call if you are dealing with a target that you can barely pen. Primo is the way to go, and a lot of people forget about that. But the thing is, Primo does cost a lot more shells, but it also allows you to do a lot more damage. So if you do that right, it will earn you more credits in the end, because the more damage you do, the more credits you earn. Nice little bounce there. It's one of those shots that shouldn't have bounced, but it did. There you go. And he is right in the face of the enemy, and he's still getting quite a nice amount of shots in. And some nice bounces and misses, which is also very, very helpful. The XP is always a difficult tank to hit. Especially when you have to aim for the cheeks. And especially when you're driving. T30 now arriving, that could be potentially be tricky. And he is definitely a preferred target. And he bounces! This is basically, you see that the enemy is also very impatient with trying to shoot him. And that's made them miss quite a few shots. Vale, also known player, has been taken out now. He's already blocked 2 point something K damage. But his team is not doing too good at this stage. But look at the amount of damage blocked, that is nuts. There you go, that's one AMX out of the way. Now with the T30 coming in with the gun like that, you have to be very careful. They're not focusing on the chieftain here. Not sure, but that fire definitely helps. With the Borsig arriving, it is 3 versus 3. But they're all kind of spread out. And it's all the more important to make all shots count. And he's now sort of like reversing his position. And that's generally a very good call at this stage. Enemy team has a base, they have a point advantage and a base advantage, so he has to be a little bit careful with that. And of course, when you want an ace, supremacy is the way to go, because points and bases get you all that bit more XP. And there we go. Yes, if you're watching through the portal and you are logged in there, you will get points. You will see a counter that is basically counting what you have and what you're getting. So keep an eye on that. He's not going to go for base B. His teammate might though. He's going straight for base A. He is still doing very good in HP. Type 59, however, not so much. And it will be a matter of arriving at the Type 59 first. Wow, Borsig just got annihilated by the T49. 3.1k damage shot, 3.1k damage blocked. That is a nice game. Bit of a Reaper thing though. Look at that. Nice amount of rating added. Overall a nice little game with very nice damage. Let's see, what else have I got for you? Let's actually show you a STB game. I'm just filling the time now. When we get closer to the time that the tournament room will actually be up, I will be focusing more on what is happening with the other teams and everything. Let's see. STB is one of my favorite tanks. It is the first tank line that I completely free XP'd because I wanted to tank. I had just gotten my press account and I did not have any high tier meds aside from the Type 59. I had not pretty much grinded any line. So of course the first thing that I did when I got my press account was basically just drive all the high tier meds and see which I liked most. Which is how it came to be that I drove the STB, did 6.7k damage, aced it in the very first game. Did get very lucky there, to be fair, because I mostly aced it and got that amount of damage because no one was shooting at me. But yeah, I did that, fell in love with the tank, decided that I pretty much had to free XP the whole line, and that is exactly what I did. I've done it a few times with other tanks, T-57 Heavy. I did it with the 215B, but that had more... Oof, he got annihilated. But that had more to do with the fact that, hey, that I needed it for tournaments, even though I was very not comfortable in the tank, so didn't really dare to. That E6 is a little bit special with the way that he's just not like mining getting shot by an STB at all. Because he's lost pretty much all of his HP. Wow, the YOLO guy is actually not happy with how that went. But when you go full YOLO, of course, the team is the one to blame. It's nothing to do with your own actions. That is something I always find amazing. People raging. Death Star arriving. A move, retard. Spelling is also pretty much a challenge. Thing is though that with a lot of people, in the EU server at least, you have all kinds of... Oh, that bounce though! You have all kinds of languages and everything, but I always found that the people that are raging the most are generally the ones that have the least amount of English. And that bounce, a little bit too impatient with taking that shot. E100 pulling back. Our STB moving in. Spaghetti is pushing. Nice little tracking shot there. But they kind of have to be careful with the meds there. He got quite lucky that that penned. He's near 4k damage into it, but he has to be very careful because he's still a medium tank. And there's a lot of tanks behind him. And it's very easy to get blocked here. The meds are arriving. They are working together though. But the team all looking in one direction can be quite difficult as well, can be quite tricky. But this is actually just them going quite YOLO. And we have the DS and the E100 over there. And now our STB has moved, which is pretty much dividing the attention of the enemy. Which is a good call. E100 now moving in. 183 not paying attention to our STB at all anymore. And there we go. Steadily pulling it back towards them. Tricky shot there. E100 now moving in. We are 6.2k damage into it. And now there's only 3 enemy tanks left. Still find it funny that the one with the biggest mouth is the one that was the one that did the least. There's a full HP mouse left. But he is the only one left. But that is a potential 3k damage. This is always... It is the people that make the most mistakes that are raging the loudest. Oh yes, I will make comments like please aim, because that can be very frustrating to see a guy not aiming. But this is just... People get so salty in this game and there's absolutely no need for it. Did he get him? Does he get him? Yes, he does. This is basically... This game was lost when their meds and faster tanks pretty much flanked around. Because that cost them the game. They cost them all the guns. 7.3k damage though. Nearly 0.4 for Maximov. That is absolutely epic. Very well done. Some bounces, some misses. But overall very nicely done. So let's see. We have 20 minutes left. This is basically the downside of streaming when the games are over so quickly, because you have so much dead space to fill. But let's have a quick look actually how the other teams are doing. Loca won, EG won, Legion won, and the Raid won, which means that these 4 teams lost their first matchups. But I am kind of curious to see what happened in the form of matches. 4-1 versus Appa. Come on. It is a bit slow with loading. 4-0 for Loca as well. Legion we already know. And we have EG. 4-3. Oh, that was a close one. Oh, Every's going to have a lot of fun with having streamed that one. And he's getting EG versus Legion now, so that's going to be epic as well. But overall, these are like the pinnacle of the competitive gameplay for me. These kind of teams together. And for now, well, at this moment at least, I'll forget how some of the teams got here. With the whole ticket thing and everything. But it is just... you get such high level gameplay, and that is what I love about streaming tournaments, because you can't get better than people people basically playing like that with a team, as a team. It's not longer 7 people, it's one team being able to go in every direction with every kind of tank lineup. It's just beautiful. So let's see, we have a game in the Action X. This is a tank that I've struggled in. I have it and I really like it, but I'm struggling in it. And as before, if you want coins you have to watch through the portal, and I will stream the minimum amount of time needed to get the maximum amount of awards, regardless of how long the games will last in the next matchup. But considering I only need half an hour for that, and we still have 20 minutes left to go before we get a matchup, that should be really easy actually. Because I doubt that we will get 4 matches in 10 minutes. So let's see. Also know that there's a 5-minute delay on the stream, which is also one reason why I'm not reacting to the chat all that much. Another reason is that most people are watching through the portal, so they don't actually see the chat. Let's see. It looks so good though. That is the main reason that I wanted this tank, the way that it looks. I am one of those people. Nice. I am one of those people that basically wants the tank because of how it looks, not necessarily of how it performs. I'm kind of bad that way. And the strength of this tank is mainly the reload. And in this case he has the upper hands versus the other Action X, mainly because that is one way to kind of rush someone. But mainly because of the way that his turret is aligning. The cupola on Manifest's side is on the right side, so he has it back behind the rock a lot easier than his enemy, which kept showing the weak side. This way he has to be careful, but at the same time he can get so many shots in just by being where he is, and he is actually not using the lookout area in order to get this done. Now he's actually making a little bit of a mistake there. But overall he has like targets left and right, and he can just decide who to shoot, especially since they're not exactly giving him a hard time doing that. And like I said, it's this reload. The tank is strong, but it's this reload that does it. Oh yes, of course, it's being very polite and nice and all of that, because that is what people are in this game. He has to take a little bit more patience, especially when he only has a few teammates left. And now he's up alone versus 3. Pantera has been taken out. That bounce is very important though. You need to take your time. And his teammate landing that shot is probably all the more important. He has to be very careful here. He has to take out that low. The low is doing him the most damage. There you go. No, don't pull back. You have to reload. The sooner you get those shots in, the more important it is. IS being very mean and rude. And now he has to push forwards. He has to take out that guy. He doesn't have that much HP left, but neither does that guy. Dun 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 dun. Okay, so I just got called Alexandra, which is not who I am. So now he has one more enemy left and he has to find him somehow. And he's using the bush. Yes, but where? That's the thing. And he can go into the base, but that will give away his position, and this map you don't really want to. Thing is though, staying in the bush as he is, there is a good chance that he will spot the type before the type spots him. As long as he's looking in about the right direction. There you go. Nice. That is patient gaming. Oh my god. 4k damage, Coloban off. Reaper medal, because the last 2 that he was against, well, last 3 actually, were one-shots. A little bit of impatient gaming. He could have done better had he taken a little bit more time to take his shots. But overall, you can't really fault an ace game with 1463 base XP on tier 8. Five-minute long game. But like, this is the kind of thing that you can learn from if you're not like the super unicorn. By standing in a bush like that, you up your camo value basically, so it will be harder for your enemy to spot you. You have to be careful with it because he was standing in a bush that was way open to pretty much everywhere. In this case it worked out, but using bushes like that is effective. Same thing, and I'll give you this as a general tip. If you are running away from someone, make sure to not knock down cover, because even if you're unspotted, they can see trees falling down, they can see boxes and fences and stuff being destroyed. So that is something that you need to take into account. Let's see, we have 12 minutes left, which means that I can show you one more replay. Let's see, I'll show you this one then. No, this is not this is not realistic. This camo though, that looks so funky. Look at this. It does not work with the tank. Well, in a way it actually kind of does. This is something that I've noticed with tanks like the Real, and a lot of German tanks actually have these kind of edges, and that means that generally their camo doesn't really seem to fit. The Grill can. This actually looks quite nice. Let's see. I actually like that he's not staying at the back and camping. He's just going a bit forwards. Which is how I very much prefer to drive my TDs, especially the TD that is mobile and it's great as the grill. This team is holding in the city, they will have a base advantage here, which is always a good thing. Nice little pen. And this is sort of like the camping thing that always happens with TDs at the same time. As long as you have the shots, it's okay. You kind of has to be a little bit careful though. Because his team has already lost the gun and he's not getting any shots here. Oh, nice one. He's now been spotted though. And he was going to relocate, but seems to decide against that. This is noise. If he gets that shot in, even with the German accuracy, that did not pen. So they kind of have to be careful here. Jaeger is no longer in his sights. And this is why being in a position like this is not really working for you. Because now he's getting a shot in, but it took quite a long time before he could do some more damage. Hori's going to cross over, hopefully. Oh, nice! Blind kill! And he has to be careful because he is a grill, so he's very achievable to pretty much anyone. Oh, nice one as well. Basically, the E100 should just bump into him because that would kill him off. HE, HE, HE. No, he does not even look at the HE. They have 2 bases. They could take this home. But he's now on his own versus the E100. Which he misses. But he should be focusing on that K9 one. Let's see what he does. Because now he has the disadvantage of no longer having the base advantage. Let's see. There's the K9 one. And he just has to be careful not to get hit. He needs to preserve his speed as much as possible. And get one of those bases back. He does hit that though. Now base A. Ooh. Now he definitely has to move in. It's more tricky of... Oh! He needs to get the base. And he needs to get the kill. He does get the kill. And he should have gone straight to C after this. But he's driving backwards. Oh my god, Dan. Why you do this? It was very close though. Overall, very well played. Just a little bit too hesitant. $5.1k damage. 237 supremacy points. He should have moved earlier. That is where this went wrong. There we go. Let's see. We are going to go up versus Loca next, and we're going to start on Black Goldfield. Room invite should be up in a few minutes, but until then, I will show you the whole the map thing, because why not? We will have some time, but I don't have the time anymore to go into a battle with you, or at least into a replay with you, I should say. This, oh no, that is the wrong one. This is the one that we are going to go on, that we are starting on. Let's move it a bit more to the center here. There we go. You have 3 bases. Basically, this is the map that we saw the Chieftain replay from Bob in. Only this time it's Supremacy. Base A near the caves, base B in the middle, and base C that is behind a bunch of buildings. It is a kind of tricky map to play on. Mainly because of the fact that you have so many lines of fire pretty much into every base. Base A for me is definitely the strongest side. But if you have a lot of super heavies, base C and then taking and holding base B is the easier way to go. Let's actually quickly accept this. And then go back to the map. We are ready. Vale already completely there. They're also waiting for the room when it pops up. Loca not yet, but they still have plenty of time. But basically, I kind of like this map. It is a lot of peekaboo positions, but you also, like I said, you have a lot of lines of fire into everything. It is difficult in tournament battles to get a point advantage, because in randoms you have not enough potatoes on both sides to get a base generally, and to get away with it. But when you have a tournament medal like this, basically people will punish you when you try to take a base, and rightfully so, because that's what it's all about. So that is the map that we are starting on. I'll take it away so that it's not going to block your screen. We have just under 4 minutes left to go. Loca still has to arrive. I'm actually put on Loca's side here. Never quite sure how they determine whose side a spectator is on. Fun fact though is that I'm the creator of Loca. Back when I first started playing this game, 2014, it was like December 2014 I think that we created Loca. It started off with just a group of friends in iMessage. We didn't really call ourselves a clan just yet, but when that came, we had to think of a name, and then I came up with Loca because we were all a little bit nuts, and I always liked, actually don't know, what abbreviations I think the right word is, yeah. So Loca actually stands for lots of cute animals. That is also where the team name comes from, which is something I really like as well. And I was in Loca and ran it for quite a few years. Before, at some point it didn't work for me anymore. Loca has always been quite stats orientated, and as time progressed I became less and less stats orientated. And I think that's one reason where it didn't work for me anymore. There's a lot more to it, but I'm not going to go into it on the stream. But in a way, Loca is always my baby, my brainchild, and it will always have a special place because of that. So let's see, 2 minutes left to go. Loca has now arrived in force, and we will have to see how they go. The last few seasons, Loca has become stronger and stronger and done better and better. And it's actually been a joy to see, because before Loca, they had the know-how, but they lacked a team. And the last few seasons, they kind of like sort of pulled that together and started becoming a real team, because that is for me the difference between competitive clans and the real competitive clans. The moment when you start to ignore the damage that you do and look at what your team does. Because in battles like this, it is not about how much damage you can do, it's about how effective you can be for your team. Which can just as easily be sit where you are and don't do anything. That can be just as important. But with just over a minute left to go, we are ready to go for the first match. Loca's still readying up, but Vale is readied up in an IS-4, 3 113s and 2 140s and an IS-7. And Loca has now readied up with 2 Sherrys, 4 IS-4s and a 113. The IS-4 is definitely part of the meta again. It has been out of the meta pretty well, sort of like as a filler tank it was there, but it was kind of out of the meta with the Twister meta that we had last year. But it's definitely back, and I think that's also part of the whole fact that you have Sheridans now, and of course the HP buffs for the heavies. It has made heavies more competitive again. And we see that now one of the 4 has been changed into 113. So it's 3 IS-4s and 2 113s and 2 Sheridans for Loca. And I'm curious to see how this will go. In the meantime, if you've been watching the stream from the start, you should get all your rewards in about 22 minutes, thereabouts. And let's see, here we go. Into the first matchup. This is actually a nice looking camera, it looks quite nice. And let's have a look. Sheridan's heading towards base A. Loca splitting up a little bit. The 113 is probably holding the city side at least to spot, but they're fast enough to pretty much regroup quite fast if they need to. The IS-4s are going with the Sheridans. Sheridans are pulling back a little bit. Ariana is in the middle. Kirovets going for a cheeky cap together with Zerd. That is a tricky move though, because it is so easy to lose that advantage when you have 2 tanks that are stuck, and they could potentially be stuck here. Kirovets having been spotted. Both of them have. But that missile missed, and that is very important because now Vale has 2 bases. That means that I have a massive point. They will have a massive point advantage. That missile missed, but look at the distance that it traveled. Zerd staying where he is, potentially the sacrificial lamb again. Kirovets holding more towards the middle, and the Sheridans at the back. The object 140s pulling back to support, but they kind of have to be careful. They know the Sheridans are there. Gassio has been spotted. We see a first bit of the HP damage being done. Loca pushing Zerd a little bit. They have to be careful because he is, again, he is the old one out, the one alone, the one that is basically, like I said, the sacrificial lamb, which tonight has not really worked out much for them. So they have to be careful. Zerd is not going to survive this much longer. Base B is being stolen. They have to avoid that happening as well. They need to start shooting the same target. This is what has not been going right for Vale most of the evening. No party without me, not looking too healthy. Zerd's still alive, just don't ask how. Baron, almost gone. Baron is gone. He is the first one out. Zerd is still alive, don't ask how. Kirovets moving in to protect him. That is not going to go well. There he goes. Eagle Eye. Now. Allison is the first one to go. Then Gassio. Then no party. Eagle Eye. Still alive. But there he goes. Elysium is not going to survive this. It is 5 versus 3 though. And with 850 points and 2 bases, Vale does have the advantage here as long as they take out these tanks. And they're leaving the Sheridans for last. Which is a good call, because even though they can do massive amounts of damage, the reload is high. They don't have the DPM. And now we have Karolak being changed by Weiser. Ariana losing HP, but I'm keeping you with Karolak. That is a ram. Karolak not going to survive this. There he goes, and with that, they reach 1k points and Ariana Grande survives. That sounds so bad though. Why I have to pick a name like that, honestly. But yeah. That was a very nice game from Vale. Got that early camp advantage. Pretty much like they did with Legion, only Loca did not have the same reply that Legion did. Pushing 2 incorrectly. Zerd surviving way longer than he should have. And let's see, Vale now readied up with 1.5 minutes left to go before we go into the second match. And Vale has readied up with 2 Sheridans, 2 140s and 3 113s. That is a lot of mobility. And they're going to go up against 2 113s, 2 Leos, well 3 113s even, and 2 IS-4s. That's going to be interesting to see because that's a relatively mobile lineup as well, with minus those IS-4s. But they've left the Sheridans behind, and they're going to be meeting the Sheridans now. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with this. No coins in the stream work fine for me. You might want to refresh your page if it's not longer working. But it should work just fine. It counts pretty much every 5 seconds. It deducts 5 seconds from the timer for me. Because yes, I am watching the stream on a portal on my own account on my iPad. With my sound muted, otherwise you would be hearing me double. But yeah. 17 seconds left to go. And then we go into the second match of this matchup. And no, this is... I'm always wondering what people will do. Because like I said, it is useless to predict what they will do. I can only like estimate it. But overall, tactics will be able to basically be applied to any zone of the battle with any form of lineup. Because even if you were to make a push with this, you will probably go straight through the middle. But you could also go through base A or base C. Anything can go. Anything can happen. And here we go. Ooh, game is being laggy. There we go. Loca now focusing entirely on the A side. And we have pretty much the Sheridans taking position where the 113s were from Loca. The 140s are going into the caves. The 113s are pushing in more towards the middle. Now they are not going to go for the bases now. And we see first hits happening. Allison taking a little bit of a hit there. Wiser moving in to get that base. Kirovets in a bit of a tricky position. They have to be careful. And we see HP being lost already. This is a part where I can't really show you anything because of the rocks that are in the way, but I'll try to show you as much as I can. Baron losing a little bit of HP. Base A being kept. But he takes a big hit for that. No party without me getting murdered. And now we have Loca's Ice Force pushing in. Vale will have to... Baron is gone, but so is Shapey. Karolak not looking too healthy either. Mo being absolutely massacred there. And they want to get those guns out of the way, but it's costing him so much HP to do so. And Yuri is isolated. Allison is gone. Mo is still alive. Zerd is moving in. Taking out no party without me. Zerd not looking too healthy now either though. There goes definitely not Rico. Ariana Grande and Iceberg are the last ones left. But look at the HP just being bled. Wise is taken out. But at this stage it is 3 guns. Well, 3 guns versus 1 gun now. And they are relatively healthy. Zerd has been taken out. But overall this is too much gunpower, firepower to survive. Iceberg is not going to be able to bring this home. Even with the base that they have. And Kirovets actually had a shot blocked by Gassio. But it is Gassio that kills off Iceberg. And this was actually a very lovely game to see because Loca pushed in when they saw that there were targets there. And at that point, the Sheridans moved in from behind, doing those massive shots. And they were not primary target until way later. And that allowed them to get those shots in. So we are now moving to my very favorite map of this whole game. Faust. Faust is pretty much my favorite map because it is so unpredictable. Anything can happen on Faust. You have 4 bases, which also makes it more interesting than 3, because there's more of the map to dominate and control. There's lines of fire into most bases. Base A is a little bit secluded, but there's so many bridges and tunnels and everything, and it makes it a pain in the ass to stream because you can't go into the tunnels and the game will jump skip you up above. But it is such a fun map. And it's so unpredictable, and that is what I love about it. So I'll take that away so that it's not blocking your screen, because I have done that before and I really want to avoid that happening. But yeah, we have Phil readied up in 1 Sheridan, 2 E50Ms, 3 113s, and I bet that's a very mobile and ramming lineup, to be fair. And they're going to go up against 2 IS4s, a 215B, 3 113s, and another Sheridan. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with this lineup, because for Faust, it could be very deadly. At the same time, if you're caught in the wrong position, you could get very brutally murdered for it. So let's see, here begins the countdown clock. And here we go. Again, the pressure is not entirely there yet, because it is the team that gets to 4 victories first that takes home the point. But in this case, the pressure is slowly coming on. And it will all depend on what is happening in this match, because if Loca loses this, they have to win 4 matches in a row. Pretty much what happened with Phil versus Legion, whereas Phil will only have to win 1 more then. But that is after this match. Let's see what's going to happen. Here we go. And there goes the missile. And we have Phil pretty much ignoring base C. No, it's actually the Batchat that seemed to be going in to cap it. And he is small enough to get away with that. We see a blind shot happening into where Allison is. Both teams will have a base, but Loca will have a point advantage. Except now, of course, base A is being kept as well. And that means that Vale will have the advantage here. Base B now, of course. It is very close though with the points. And in this case, Loca still has a tiny point advantage. And now we have Loca pushing in to also grab base C. They are dominating the map when it comes to the bases, and that could be very tricky. Why is that at the back there? There's too many players there to risk decapping that, because he would lose so much HP. Yori has been spotted, he has to be careful. And now Loca has 3 bases. And we see Baron losing a little bit of HP, but overall, Loca is dominating this map now with 3 bases, which means the points are racking up quite quickly. And Vale will have to make a decision soon as to where to go. The E50Ms are at the back. Kirovet's losing a little bit of HP there. Zert deciding not to get spotted. And Loca in a position to regroup quickly to help each other out. And Ariane supported by all the guns behind her here. And Vale will have to make a move. We see a missile that does not pen. Kirovet's losing more HP. He has to be careful. Gassio losing some HP as well. Kirovet's losing too much HP here. We have Vale that is pushing in. Karolak taking a big hit there. Zert as well though. No party without me, not doing too good. Basically we have 2 fronts going on here. Baron losing quite a bit of HP. Gassio not looking too healthy. They have to be careful. They need to take those guns out. Zert is the first one out. And there's too many low HP targets pretty much on both sides. Base C has been stolen. Allison is almost gone. There goes Gassio though. It is 7 versus 5. Kirovet now alone. There goes Baron. And they need to take out those guns. They need to take them out fast. There goes no party without me. Basically now Kirovet is left alone. And they need to take all those bases. They need to grab B. They need to grab D. Weiser has to be careful not to get spotted. No, not to get shot there actually. Allison not looking too healthy. Base B is now being stolen. The 113 is not in the best position there. Mo in trouble. Basically they need to get that base. Oof, there goes another one. It is so close though. There goes Mo. Yuri not looking too healthy either. They need to take out Allison. They need to get that base. And Yori needs to stay alive. Shapey does as well. Shapey not looking too healthy. We have Rico pushing in. They have to be careful. With 3 bases, as long as they survive and are careful, they could potentially have this. But they have to be so careful. You can't afford to take another hit, Wiser. Honestly. Base B now being stolen. Which is all the more dangerous here. So many low HP targets. They can't afford the base to get shot. There goes Wiser. And it is Loca's game. Mainly because Vale was not careful enough. Wiser, he did not need to take those shots. And he did. And Loca takes home this match. Beautifully played by Loca. Basically holding well enough. Taking that base advantage. Taking the base advantage back afterwards. Making sure that base D could not be capped. One and a half minutes left to go before we go into the second match on Faust. Again, the pressure is not really there yet. It will depend if Vale takes home this upcoming match. Then the pressure will be on Loca. And like with anything, I'm very much in favor of tiebreakers. And so the longer this lasts, the better it is for me. But for the teams, not so much, of course. And we have Vale ready with 2 IS-4s, a 140, an STB, an E4, and 2 113s. You don't see E4 arrive that much here. And on the other side, we see 3 Sheridans, a 215B, 2 IS-4s, and a 268. That is a lot of firepower. But also a long reload. Will be, well, I keep saying this. This is sort of like my stop word. It will be interesting to see what they do with it. But it is! Kind of just, I want to see what is happening. I want to see what they do with these lineups. Because basically only once you're in the game you know what is actually happening and how it is going to develop. So let's see, 16 seconds left to go before we go into the game. And let's see. Here we go. Second match on Faust. This is basically, actually the last match is exactly why I love Faust. It is unpredictable. And anything can happen. And let's see. And now we see Loca heading towards the city side again. With Survivor in the Sheridan heading more towards the middle to spot. And we see that Vale is pushing up and over behind the base. The IS-4s are getting spotted and immediately getting shot at. But we have Vale pushing in, and this could potentially be very dangerous. Especially with those Sheridans that are now reloading. But they have to be careful as well. Because they're also getting themselves into line of fire of some very big guns here. Oh, and look at the HP just being bled. The IS-4s are just pushing straight on in. Zerd, sacrificial lamb, stop sacrificing yourself. He is going after them, but he's going to be out of the account so quickly now. And it's going to cost him a gun. HP wise, they have an advantage, yes. But this is not going to go well for Zerd. And he is the first gun out of the equation. And this is again, I'm missing the focus fire. Shapey not looking too healthy either. And being taken out instantly. That is 2 guns gone. Yori taking a big hit. Nobody. Why Vale is being this careless. They're not focus firing. No party without me, now the preferred target. Kirovet showing his flank. No party without me, still alive. He should not be at this stage. There he goes. And we have Survivor arriving, going to take out Gassio most likely. Or a big hit into Kirovets. No, he takes a shot into Yuri. Anderson. Ariana Grande has been taken out. Kravolek is next. There goes Yuri. Edison not looking too healthy, but neither does Weiser. And he has his... He is now turning around. But this is tricky. It is 4 versus 3, but HP wise, Loca has the advantage. They need to take out those guns. And that is a big hit into Kirovets, and it takes him out. Survivor is almost gone. Allison is still alive. There goes Mo. He is still alive, but barely. Gassio has to move in. He has to take out Allison. He does, but he takes another hit. And there goes Mo. And it is 1 versus 2. And this is basically not so much Loca's pro gaming as more at Phil's failing. Because they did not need to do this. They were too careless, too hasty with the way that they were spotting and they were pushing. And now with Gassio driving up there, it's going to be Rico that's taking him out. There you go. And the game is for Loca, and we are back to 2-2 now. And this is, I don't know. Zert was just completely YOLO. This was not a push, this was a YOLO push. And they didn't need to do that. But at least we get more matches this way, so that's always a good thing. And we are moving on to Rockfield. Rockfield looks like this, yeah, 3 bases. Base A close to a bunker, relatively safe to get base B in the middle. My teammate always hates it when I send him there during tournaments. And we have base C that is more to the mat side, a little bit more protected than it shows here. Base B has a lot of lines of fire in it, but if you get away with capping it, it will be very difficult for your enemy to cap it back. So again, it will be interesting to see what they do here. And let's actually remove that map so it's not on your screen anymore. Loca has completely ran it up with 2 Sheridans and 5 IS-4s because yes. And on the other side we see 2 Sheridans, 2 IS-4s, a Hori and 2 113s. Hori is a tank we've not seen all that much during the tournaments. During the ascents sometimes it is a pretty troll tank. It can perform quite nicely. But like with any CDs, there's always a risk in running them because they have no turret and generally lack the mobility to get out of somewhere fast. Even with the grill being as mobile as it is such an achievable target. It is difficult to run it and it is a risk. So any CD, in my opinion, is a bit of a risk to take with you. 17 seconds left to go before we go into the match. And basically the pressure is starting to get on both of them because whoever wins this next match only has to win 1 more. So let's see. Here we go. So many IS-4s. Not as much as we've seen in an A though, because that was during the ascents of course, not professionals, but we had a match of 14 IS-4s there at some point and it was hilarious. So we have both teams heading towards the A side. The Sheridans moving a little bit more to the middle, potentially to spot. They do spot the IS-4s there. I'm actually going to see if I can take you a bit more to the middle. And we see missiles flying. And only Gassio actually taking the hit. Oh, no, actually Shapey does as well. Allison getting hit badly as he crosses over. And Loca is pushing. And this is a good call because the IS-4s will take some time to get there. Shapey not getting hit by the missile there. Yori in a bit of a tricky position. They have to be careful. We see the Hori shooting no party with him. Gassio. Gassio not going to be long for this world like that. The IS-4s are pushing in. And again. Vale, where's your focus fire? Yori pushing in. shooting Baron. And Vale is just bleeding HP. Karolek losing a ton of HP, but the low HP targets are still alive. On both sides. There goes Shapey. Zerd also not doing too good here. But still alive. Mo losing HP. Yori gone. Both teams have lost 2 guns, but HP wise Loca has the advantage. Big hit into no party without me before he gets taken out. And basically now Mo is in trouble. He is alone. And he's up against an IS-4. He does take a hit. Nice hit there though. And again, Vale is spread out. Mo is not going to survive this. He might get another shot in. He does. Before he gets taken out. Allison going after Gassio and taking him out as Gassio does not hit that. Kirovet's taking a hit there. Basically, Wise is now going to help Zerd. But that leaves Kirovets alone, and Kirovet is pushing in as if he has help, which he doesn't. And that not panning. That definitely pans though. And it is 3 versus 2. But it is close. And Kirovets has to be very careful. Especially with the missile tank now pushing in. He is angling, he gets that shot in. Ooh, and he bounces, but this is not going to bounce. And that's going to be the end of Kirovets. Survivor taking a hit there. Weiser has to push in. He has the HP to do it. But he is waiting. He's probably waiting until Zerd has... yeah, he does. Because you see, as soon as Zerd reloaded... that missile missed by a mile though. And it is Zerd that takes him out. And now only Ariana Grande is left. And he is probably going to go after Zerd. And Zerd has to not get hit. Oh! Nice shot though. And now Weiser is alone. He is capping a base. He kinda has no choice. But Ariana can run circles around him. And he will need to get the bases, and he will need to dominate the bases, and he will need to be careful of those bloody missiles. And now Ariana is going to cap, as is Weiser, but the missiles will be flying. And basically then we start a game of cat and mouse, because they have to avoid getting shot. There comes the missile. Missing. Which means that now Vale has 2 bases. And basically all Wise has to do now is survive. And get to a safe position where he can't get missiled. There goes another missile. And that one does not pan either. And now Ariana is relocating. And Weiser is wisely... ooh, no, maybe not, maybe not. And they both don't pan. Wise is heading towards base A, which is a good call because that is where it is easier to dominate the 2 bases from here. But at the same time, he needs to be careful. Ariana Grande has the mobility advantage here. And he has a missile advantage. He does not need to... ooh, and that does pen. And we see Weiser making him move. But again, Ariana has the mobility advantage here. So he has to be careful. Weiser is actually in a very tricky position here. And again, this wargaming, if you're watching, is exactly why missiles should not be in the game. I'm not talking about the fact that Ariana Grande is outplaying Weiser here, because that is like fine. The issue is the fact that without any risk to themselves, Ariana Grande is getting those hits in. And Weiser is in definitely a lot of trouble now. Ooh, that missed. The closer he is though, Weiser, the harder it will be for Ariana Grande to actually get that hit in. And that is something that he has to keep in mind. 975 points. Oh, and Weiser gets it! What a game! But those missile shots is exactly why I am against missiles. Because when you're angled like that, and you're behind cover like that, you shouldn't be able to get shot like that. So, definitely well played, Ariane, because I understand that once it's in the game, that is how you use it. But this is exactly why I am against those bloody things. 6 minutes game. And now, if it actually goes back to the training room, there we go. Now the pressure is on because Vale only has to win the next one to get the point, and Loca has to win 2 in a row to get it. And after a game like that, you can bet your bum that they're going to be shaking, because that was such a close call in every which way. So a minute left to go before we go into the second match on Rockfield, and we see Vale has taken 2 E5s, 2 Leos, an STB and 2 113s. So that's a very different lineup. No missile tanks, very mobile heavies, very little armor, and that could be very dangerous versus the Sheridan. And with 45 seconds left to go, we have Loca, no, almost ready. Only Rico needs to get ready now. Let's see, here we go. They are ready with 1 Sheridan, 4 IS4s, an E5 and a T62A. Oh my god. And actually commentating on the mission. Just wait until you see what's going to happen next match, guys. So here we go. Countdown clock has begun. And we are going into the match right now. And let's see what is going to happen on this match, especially after what happened just now, because there's always a psychological game going on as well. And you have to regroup before the next match, regardless of what happens. We have Ariane going into the middle there. The Leos taking camping position at the back. Ariane in a blind firing position. Why is there snow here? Let's see. 2 tanks spot each other, 2 tanks don't do damage. Ariane moving in, the Leos are moving in as well. This could be interesting to see. Because now the Leos are taking the base, getting their hits into Ariane. And they have to decide whether they're going to take out the tank or decide... Oof, why is it not looking too healthy here? There's a lot of fighting going on at the back there as well. And Ariane is literally running them in circles. And there we go. Ariane is the first one gone. Survivor is not long behind. And they're not focusing on the bases at all. Survivor is surviving for shots longer than he should have. But Loca has now lost 2 tanks. We have the Leos that are moving in. But they are relatively easy to murder. Weiser now capping the base just in case, but he's not going to be able to do much. They are eating away at the HP of Loca. Yuri not looking too healthy though. There goes Baron. Zerd pushing in quite aggressively. No party without me. Going after Yuri. Yuri still surviving. Karolak not so much. No party without me. Ramming Yuri to death here. And surviving another hit. But there we go. It is 4 versus 2. Allison and Rika are left. Allison almost gone though. And he's going to meet the 2 Leos here. And Weiser turning around to take him out. Rico now the only one gone. It is definitely Vale's game. Very aggressive gameplay. And there he goes. Blown to smithereens by 4 guns firing at almost the same time. very quick game, this one, especially considering the last one. But overall, very nice game. Just 2.5 minutes, there you go. But that was sort of like the focus fire that I've been missing from Vale tonight. And them actually finishing with that is actually really lovely, because that is the Vale that I know. And, well, love sounds too cheeky, too cheesy, but yeah, that I like and appreciate. But this is, all the teams in the top 8 are great teams. And that is why watching games like this is so much fun, because anything can happen. So Raid took it home. Let's see, they were up against Souls 4-1 again. And then we have, let's have a look at Legion, how that is going. They are still going versus EG, but of course that is versus EG, so that's going to be epic. And I think Imo is the last one that we are missing. They lost to Appa. So Appa has a point. And Raid has a point. Vale has a point. Which we don't see here yet, I mean. So basically it's Imo and Souls that have no points at this stage. Everyone else at least 1 point. Raid 2. And even Legion or EG has 2 points as well. So I'm kind of curious what is going on there. But it only updates like once every 5 minutes. So it should still be able to go, but we were in this matchup for like 40 minutes with 6 matches. So they should be out pretty soon as well. I'm just going to have to wait for that a little bit. In the meantime, let's actually go over some of the stuff that we have while we wait. And I'll actually rate his missiles some more. This tank, I actually picked it for a reason, because I like the tanks, I really do. I hate the missiles, I really do. In my opinion, this tank can't be balanced properly as long as it has missiles. And that is one of the biggest issues with this tank. I dislike the fact that you have missiles where basically angling and cover make no difference anymore. And regardless of how good you are in your tank, a missile can literally hit you on the roof. You saw that with Ariana versus Weiser. And I think the only reason that Weiser took that home is because his aiming circle is smaller. And he has more armor, so Ariana had to aim more. But Ariana had no choice but to move in, because of those points were stacking up already. So that is why Ariana had to take that risk, regardless of whether it would work out or not. Because if he didn't make any move, Ariana is a he. If he didn't make any move, then he would have lost anyhow. So it was worth the gamble. But for me, this should not be in the game. The tank, fine, just not the missiles. Give it normal premo. The tank is still very strong. But right now, this one and its tier 9 counterpart, this one is even worse. It is completely OP. It has been nerfed in armor and everything. But that doesn't really change things, because if you don't get hit, you won't die. But you still... The thing is that if you are firing from behind cover and you make those little trick shots and everything, you are not at any chance of any risk at being shot yourself. So what good does not having armor? Well, before it even had a lot of short armor, which made it a lot worse. But even if you don't have any armor, if you're standing behind a rock and people are shooting at you, but they can't actually hit you because you're behind that rock and you can still shoot at them, then not having any armor is not going to do you much good, is it? So yeah, I'm in favor of the tanks. I'm very much against the missiles. And that is definitely going to stay. So I'm actually having rented a little bit there. Let's have a look if we have a result yet. Come on, guys. No, it's still going. God, that must be epic. Actually might be watching that back. Because those games are... Come on. Being streamed on every stream. In the meantime, I'll take you over that a little bit as well. With all the matchups that we are getting, I'm waiting for... Actually, no, I'm going to make it easier for me. I'm going to open Discord on my phone because it's a lot more reliable than when I try to do it on my computer right now. We have on Saturday, Sorry, Sunday. Saturday is actually a holiday in Russia, which is why the matches are on May 10th rather than May 9th. Just so you know, the more you know. And I'll be streaming Asia and EU then. But for Saturday, I will be streaming Souls vs Legion and Emo vs Vale, so that's going to be great fun as well. And Rip will be streaming Raid vs Emo and Raid vs Legion. Every is streaming EG vs Loca and EG vs Appa. And Fugit will be streaming Appa vs Vale and Souls vs Loca, and he's the one that has the coin stream on Sunday. So just so you're aware of that, that is what you are going to be looking forward to, I hope. Why is it not updating? I want to know. I want to end the stream, but I want to know who's won first. This is kind of like, I wish it would update like instantly. Because it has to be so close, this. But yeah, not much else to talk about, right? Really. Later on tonight, Asia, of course, has already been, because that is like 8 hours ago, 9 hours ago, thereabouts. My time, that is. And you have NA later on tonight, and then you have the choice of watching Droodles, who has the coin stream, who is going to stream Straight vs Hated and Pincer vs Void. Or you can watch Fishy with Purple vs Rain and Straight vs Pramo. I'm a big fan of Fishy. He's a competitive player himself, so he knows his shit. He knows what he's talking about. If you want to watch the NA streams, I advise watching him. And just be sure that you can watch the stream through the portal on one device, mute it, and then watch whatever stream you want. So you're not stuck with listening to me blab on about things either. So let's see, last one. This is also basically, I don't mind wasting your time with having the stream continue a bit longer. Because if you tune in a little bit late, it also means that you get the rewards if you watch through the portal, so yeah. Still going. What is happening there? Long matches too. Even if it updates only once every 5 minutes. But yeah, let's have a look. What is in the store right now? Because basically we have some time to waste. We have the T55A and the T54 first prototype. I adore the prototype. 55A is a great tank as well, but if you already have the T54, which is like the grindable tier 9, you don't really need this one. They're both fun tanks though. I have them both. I actually bought this mainly for aesthetics, because like I said, this is... I like pretty tanks. I like funky camos, and this tank has that. It is not the best tank, but it is a good looking one, and if you are hull down, you are basically in a good position, literally in every which way. Avatars and all of that is useless. You have bundles here. This one used to be such a great tank until they basically murdered the low tiers in update 5.5, and they took away pretty much its whole clip. So now there's only 2 shells in it left, like all the clip is in the low tiers, and that makes it a lot less fun. And of course you have the premium pass and the premium pass, which is going to help you of course with the whole better pass thing, where you can get lots of different rewards. It is actually, I like it, because you can get stuff for free if you do missions, and at the same time, if you do buy the lower bundle, you get a lot more. And if you buy the premium pass, you just skip through it a bit faster. Sorry, this is me talking too much. It's basically making my throat itch. Legion, EG, how are you doing, guys? Let's have another look. Nope, still going. God, I want to know what's happening in there. But they're the only matchup that we're still waiting for. But yeah, like I said, just so you know, the longer I stream, the more rewards and if you've already gotten max. I've always made it my personal rule to stream for at least the amount of time that people need to get their rewards. The minimum amount to need the max rewards. And in this case, I streamed about half an hour longer, so even if you tuned in late, then you will have gotten all your rewards by now. Let's see. I'm just keep going back because I want to know. This is the only matchup that we are waiting for. Also, all the rewards you get for watching through the portal will be given to you, or will be put on your account automatically, so you don't have to worry about that. And that's basically it. You get a hardcore fan avatar. And you get season coins. So with the season coins you can buy stuff later on, I think. Let's actually have a look what you can do with that while we wait anyway, so this is not why I wanted to go. Here I wanted to go. Let's see. Season coins. Does it say here? This is about where? Oh my god, everything is so slow. Nope. Just trying to see where the blip I can find this. This is, I think, it. Alright, that is what the other thing is for. You can get credits and free XP or premium days. Basically, you can... Here, you can spend them. And for me, I will definitely be going for all the free XP that I can. I have enough premium time. This is, by the way, not my own account. So all the premium time that you see here and everything else here is not mine. This is my press account. Which is basically just meant for either streaming or just testing tanks and stuff. So once more, let's have a look if they are ready yet. Because one of these teams will have 2 points by the end of this. Someone in the chat said, "Oh my god, she coughed." Yeah, don't really worry about that though. This is useless. Just give me the winner already. You can't still be fighting. Well, technically you can, but it's very unlikely. But every is going to have a field day with this. With the game studies had. And of course, if I were to like stop the stream now, of course you will see that that is the time that the battle is actually over. But yeah, overall lots of free stuff to be had this season, and that's generally a good thing. And I actually quite like that. I also like that Wargaming has given us so much to give away during competitions and stuff recently. Basically to just occupy people while they were at home. There we go. Oh my god, that must have been so close. 4-3. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching that back. So that is it. We have all the standings now. Raid has 2 points, Legion has 2 points, Vale, Loca, EG, and APA all have 1 point, and only Souls and Immortal remain pointless right now. So this is the first night of the professionals. The second night will be this Sunday rather than Saturday, because Saturday is a holiday in Russia, so all the tournament matches have been moved to Sunday. So everyone, that is it for me. You should have gotten all your rewards by now by far. If you haven't, you tuned in too late, and there's nothing I can do to help that. So thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank the teams for the lovely gameplay that we saw tonight, and I'll be seeing you guys on Sunday. Good night.